games. That's something the Liberty, also in New York, know a little bit about lately. They have 5 losses this season. 4 of them have come in their last 5 games, hosting the Sparks in this one. Second quarter, Liberty down 31-28. Maureen Johannes. Watch that. The steal, defense to offense, but the pass to Breanna Stewart, that's how the Liberty tied the game after the made free throw. Not bad. That could be in top place. Later in the second, game now tied at 34. Azurá Stevens gonna nail that jumper. Sparks by 2. 20 seconds to go. Sparks by 1. Ray Burrell, catch, shoot. That is worth 3. Sparks go into the half leading by 4, and the Liberty have trailed at half in 7 of their last 8 games. Keep in mind, they did not trail at the half in any of their first 9 games of the season, all before they lost. However, Natasha Cloud, big third quarter. 11 of her 23 came in the third. 23 points, 7 assists. Sabrina Ionescu knocking down that 3. Liberty up 1. Ionescu a couple of possessions later does it again. Old Brittany. Liberty up 10 in the fourth. Liberty by 5. Cloud. Leonie Phoebus, she's back, playing in Europe, knocking down the 3. Liberty up 84-76. Ionescu 20 points, 6 assists, 6 rebounds. The Liberty back on the winning side of things. 89-79, the final there.
Well, Thursday's run between the Aces and Fever was supposed to give us a meeting between A'ja Wilson and Caitlin Clark, but with the Fever point guard still out with a groin injury, we'll have to wait until next weekend's All-Star game to see them share the court again. There's Caitlin Clark, but hey, Indiana did have Aaliyah Boston, and she was going to work. Knocks down the mid-range and already with a double-digit lead. And then Kelsey Mitchell, she's been balling out where the money resides as of late. 4 straight 20-point games coming in. Knocks down a 3 there. The Fever's 22-point halftime lead, largest since 2016. Let's go through the third quarter. A'ja trying to do something to keep her team in this game, trying to spark a run. She had 29 points, but her squad was still down, and the Fever were like, yo, we didn't come out here to play games with you. We came out here to aim at you. Mitchell for 3, she had 25 points, 6 assists, her 8th career 25-5 game. Sophie Cunningham, I'll take that and raise you 2. It was 68-47 going to the fourth quarter. And in that final frame, Miss Boston gets that one to go. She finished with 20 points, her 6th 20-point game of the season. The Fever win in a rout again, 81-54. The 27-point loss ties the worst of the season for the Aces.
We go out to Phoenix. That was the best team in the league going into that night. And we put a solid 4 quarters together. Tonight, we put, a third quarter together. After that, 3 quarters of trash. The offense was trash. The defense was trash. There has to be some fight back. If they're going to allow that kind of physicality, my team has to step up and match that physicality, period. One team is physical and one team is not. One team is 3 steps behind and one team is not. They got all the 50-50 ball. I mean, they busted our ass in every kind of way, Michael. There's just no 2 bones about it. It's one of the worst games I've ever seen.
Okay. Full assessment right there.
She turned that car back around. She
did.
Counted to 3 and she was serious.
All right, the last time Indiana took down the Aces was 6 years ago. And guess what was happening then? Well, A'ja Wilson had not won an MVP yet. She now has 3. Caitlin Clark had not scored a point in her college career. She's now the D1 all-time leading scorer. And Becky Hammon was an assistant with the Spurs and had not coached a game in the WNBA yet. Since then, she's won 2 titles. For a little more perspective, we bring in WNBA analyst Carolyn Peck. And Carolyn, you were at that game just now. Look, the Fever have been on a tear. They've won 2 in a row, a 25-point blowout of the Lynx in the Commissioner's Cup final, and then 27 against the Aces in this one. And both of those games without Caitlin Clark. How is Indiana getting this done right now?
Look, I think that Indiana is even more dangerous when Caitlin Clark doesn't play because she's a ball-dominant guard. The ball's in her hands a lot, so you know what you need to try to take away. But when you look at Indiana now, they've got so many weapons. And Kelsey Mitchell is playing out of her mind. Aaliyah Boston, I talked to Stephanie White before the game. She said in year 1, Aaliyah Boston was back to the basket. Year 2, 2-man game. Year 3, they're using her as a decision maker. And so when you have a point guard like Kelsey Mitchell and Ari McDonald making plays on the perimeter and a post like Aaliyah Boston, I'm going to tell you, Indiana, they are a threat, and specifically on the defensive end. Stephanie is so pleased with the intensity that they're bringing defensively with their length, their switches. I mean, they've wreaked havoc on their last two opponents.
They made a point to be much better this year, and obviously they added the pieces to make that happen. Let's go to the other side of this matchup, though, because A'ja Wilson put up some MVP caliber numbers, 29 points. She shot 50% from the floor, but the rest of the Aces shot just 7 for 43. What can Becky Hammon do right now to help her squad start stringing together some wins here?
The focus for Becky Hammon right now is on the defensive end because that's where the Aces have been so good. They have created offense off their defense. Because in the half court, yes, they've struggled and missing layups. I mean, just one-on-one. The physicality that has been allowed in the W this year, you got to be able to finish through contact. You got to finish the gimmies. And if not, you've got to create it off your defense and you've got to get out and run. And that was something that the Aces were not able to do against Indiana today.
Let me take you to the Liberty for a second because they had lost 4 of 5 heading into Thursday's game, and they were losing that game at the half, but they put together a big surge in the second half to eventually get the W. What concerns, if any, Carolyn, do you have with the defending champions right now?
I really don't have any concerns with New York, and this is why. Because they have the experience and they have enough firepower. Even when they get behind, they have proven this season that they can hit the big shots from the three-point line. Now understand, New York's playing without Jonquel Jones right now, who is the paint protector. So what they have got to do is find a way until she gets back to protect the paint, because they have enough firepower on the offensive end. It's the defense that New York's got to they got to tighten that up. But when they do that, and listen, we are early in the season, about a third of the way through? There's a lot of basketball to be played. And I think New York's still one of those teams that has the potential to be there.
Yeah, everyone believes they will be in the mix by the time we get to the postseason. Carolyn Peck here on SportsCenter. Thanks so much.